We already learned in the last lesson some design ideas about Joystick UI. This lesson, we are based on the design ideas of the last lesson. To design the Joystick UI, you know, the rocker base is fixed. The rocker cap can be within a certain range of the base. Free movement. So we had to design a joystick. We need to prepare at least 2 images. Picture selection above. Just keep it consistent with the game style. Here we put the pre-class information package. In the UI folder, Virtual Joystick Pack folder. Copy directly to. Inside the UI folder in the project. Inside the UI folder under the Editor project window. Right-click to create UI. Create a new joystick UI file. Double-click to open. Click the drop-down arrow in the upper left corner. Set the resolution to 1920x1080. Because the resolution of most mobile devices is now. Both are 1920x1080 resolutions. Set this resolution on most models. Will have a better display effect. In this overhead shooting game we're going to do to control player movement. Control the direction of the firearm and fire. So we need to design the left and right joysticks. The left joystick is used to control the direction of player movement. The right joystick is used to control the aiming direction of the firearm and fire. Bring users a good experience of two-handed control. We start with the left-hand joystick. After the left rocker is designed, make a copy. You can get the right joystick with a little modification. Find it in the project window. UI-related resources just imported. Select a suitable picture. Then drag it to the top. Suitable location. Here we choose this picture. Then modify the UI object. Node name is left joystick. Adjust the width and height of the joystick to an appropriate value. This is done to make it more convenient for users to operate. Because in landscape games, the joystick is one of the most frequently used UI components. Make it easy for users to touch. We designed the joystick to be used in landscape games in order to make the operation more comfortable for users. Be sure to consider the user's grip position. When users play horizontal screen games, left and right thumb located in the lower left and lower right corners of the screen. If you just simply put the picture object just now place in the lower left corner, will cause a problem. So here's a demo. Press Ctrl+S to save it first. Then go back. Scene window. Add the joystick UI just now. Drag to the Manager node. Then run. Resize the game window. You will find that when the screen size is different, the position of the joystick from the lower left corner will change. At that time, on different devices, the position where the joystick appears will be quite different. It makes it inconvenient for players to operate. The reason for this problem is that in the editor, when designing the UI, the default is to use the center of the screen as the anchor point. So in order to adapt to different equipment, make sure no matter what size screen, the display position of the joystick is roughly normal. You need to set the anchor point of the left rocker to the lower left corner. Click the icon below the anchor. Set the anchor to the lower left corner. Drag left joystick. Adjust its position. Ctrl+S to save. Run. Then no matter how the screen changes, the position of this left rocker from the lower left corner is roughly fixed. It is convenient for the player to hold the state. The left thumb can be easily touched. Run discovery. The current value of X is 100. When the Y value is 100, this position is more suitable. Does anyone know what does the X value of 100 and the Y value of 100 mean? Here we must put the game, the relevant coordinates involved. Figure it out. Because the realization of the subsequent joystick function and the underlying logic of the code is the conversion of coordinates. The origin of the screen coordinate system. In the upper left corner of the screen. Horizontal to the right is the positive direction of the x-axis. Vertical down is the y-axis positive direction. We just set it up. Reference anchor for the left rocker. For the lower left corner of the screen. So the x values here are 100 and the y values are 100. Show the amount by which the left joystick is offset relative to the lower left corner of the screen. So here it is. When x is 0, when the y value is also 0 in the beginning, the lower left corner of this joystick, it coincides with the lower left corner of the screen. Explain the initial coordinates of this point. 0 for 0. We move it to the right. Is that equivalent to moving in the positive direction of x? So the value of x is increasing. Drag up. That's moving in the negative direction of the y-axis. The y value is decreasing. After the position of the left rocker base is determined. During the running of the game, his position is fixed. We need to be in the center of the left joystick. Place a rocker cap. For subsequent touch movement. Then control the direction of movement of the player. In addition, in order to increase the fluidity of user control, when the player releases the joystick, the rocker cap should automatically return. So set the anchor point of the rocker cap to the center of the rocker. Drag image footage. Change the name of the joystick cap node to left joystick cap. Click the button below the anchor. Enter. The default is to use the center of the parent node as the reference anchor. so there is no need to change it here. Ctrl加 S save. Run. We press the SAD button to control player movement. When the character moves under the joystick, character is blocked. Bring a very bad experience to players. So, one thing to keep in mind when designing the joystick UI. All buttons that have been placed on the top layer for a long time. Be sure to set the appropriate transparency. Below, we optimize the visual effect of the joystick UI. Click on the joystick node. Inspect the window on the right. Find image. Click a button to the right of the color. Set the transparency to 50% in the pop-up dialog box. Ctrl plus S to save. Go back to the scene window and run. Then press the SAD key. Move the player under the joystick. This time found. The joystick will no longer block the player's line of sight. After the left rocker is done, the next step is to make the right rocker easier. Copy the left joystick node just done. Modify the copied parent node name to right joystick. Change its subnode name to right joystick cap. Press F2 to rename the modification. Then set the anchor of right joystick to the lower right corner of the screen. Click on the lower right corner of the screen. Adjust the right joystick to the appropriate position. I believe you can understand the X and Y values here. Why is it set to 100? It means the right rocker relative to the lower right corner of the screen. Offset to upper left. That is in the negative direction of the X-axis. and y-axis negative direction movement. So here the x and y values. Both are negative. Ctrl plus S to save. Click Run again. At this time our joystick can't be touched or moved. In the next section, we will implement the touch of the joystick.